His mouth was on my skin while his hands undressed me like it was our first time again. It was the night before his birthday, and I wanted to make it special. I wore the red silk set he had said he loved, the one with the lace edges and the slit that ran up too high. He told me I was everything he needed. He made love to me like I was his entire world. But what I did not know was that just hours before, he was buried inside someone else. She had painted lips. She wore expensive perfume. She left a receipt on the passenger seat of his car, red lipstick smudged on it. That was how I found out. While I was planning his birthday surprise, he was screwing her in a hotel 20 minutes from our home. And the worst part? That night in bed, I begged him to stay longer inside me. I begged, like a fool, for a man who had already given his best to someone else. Hi loves, if you are new here, thank you so much for joining the channel. And to my returning viewers, thank you for riding with me. I cannot wait for you to hit that subscribe button if you have not already. Your support is the fuel that powers this storytelling space. Please do not forget to comment your thoughts after watching, your feedback means everything. Now, back to my story. My name is Camille. I am 32. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I work in real estate, but this story has nothing to do with properties. It is about how I lost myself. How I married the man I thought would be my forever, Ethan. And how he made me feel like I was the side chick in a marriage where I was supposed to be the queen. Ethan is 35. Ambitious. Handsome. The kind of man people assume is faithful just by how respectful he appears in public. The truth is, he is the kind of man who knows how to lie with his smile. And I was so blinded by love that I believed his every word. The night before his birthday, I lit candles. I cooked his favorite meal, blackened salmon with garlic mash. I placed a small velvet box next to his wine glass. Inside it was a limited edition watch he had once casually mentioned. I saved up for it for 4 months. I watched his eyes when he opened it. I saw them widen, but not in surprise, in guilt. I should have caught it then. He took me to the bedroom like he owed me something. He touched me like a man who wanted to forget. But I was too starved for his affection to notice the detachment in his kiss. I moaned his name that night like a woman in love. Because I was. The next morning, I went to run a quick errand. I used his car because mine had low gas. The scent hit me first, floral, sweet, not mine. Then I saw the receipt on the floor of the passenger seat. It was from the Coralwood Suites. Room 217. A charge for $270. Date stamped the same afternoon I was making his birthday dinner. My chest tightened. My hands started shaking. I looked closer. A lipstick mark, deep red. My shade was always nude or soft pink. Whoever she was, she wanted to leave a mark. I drove home in silence. Every second felt like betrayal bleeding through my veins. I did not confront him immediately. I needed to be sure. I needed more than a receipt. I needed a face. So I waited. I played the loving wife. I even smiled when he blew out his candles and kissed me in front of his friends. I was dying inside. Over the next few days, I paid attention. I watched how he took late-night calls in the guest room. I noticed how his showers lasted longer. I smelled her perfume on his collar. I started seeing the cracks, text messages he would delete, business trips that lasted too long, and the emotional distance he covered with expensive gifts. One night, I asked him if he was happy. He kissed my forehead and said, "Always with you." I smiled back. But my soul screamed. That night, while he slept beside me, I unlocked his phone. His password was still my birthday. I scrolled until I found her. A woman saved as M. No full name. But enough messages to drown me. I miss you already. I can still taste you. Same room next week? I stared at those words while his arm lay across my stomach. My heart broke, but my body did not move. I stared into the dark and whispered, "He made me the other woman, in my own marriage." The next morning, I stood in the shower far longer than I needed to. Hot water poured over me, but I still felt cold. The kind of cold that settles deep under the skin, where truth cuts you open and you do not know whether to scream or cry. I kept hearing her voice in my head. Even though I had never heard it before, the messages made her feel real. "I can still taste you." That line looped over and over. I imagined her lips. Her hands on him. Her body under his. The way he might have kissed her neck like he always did with me. I imagined her moaning his name the way I used to, when it meant something. Her name was Melissa. I found that out when I dug deeper. I knew Ethan was sloppy. He never deleted his email trash folder. That is where I found a forwarded hotel confirmation under her full name, Melissa Grady. She booked the suite herself. She was not hiding. Maybe she did not even know I existed. Or maybe she did, and just did not care. I needed to see her. Not to fight. Not even to scream. I just needed to look her in the face, to confirm that the woman who had wrecked my home was real. I waited until Ethan told me he had a conference call downtown, and I already knew what that meant. I waited until he left, then I followed. He drove to a boutique wine shop off King Street. Not a hotel this time. A more public meeting, maybe. I parked a few cars back, heart pounding in my chest. 10 minutes later, she walked out of the store to meet him. She was beautiful. Not flashy, but the kind of woman who knew her power. Slim. Perfect posture. Red lips. She leaned in and kissed Ethan like they were something real. He smiled at her. The same damn smile he used on me, then brushed a lock of hair from her cheek. I nearly threw up. She was wearing a beige blazer over a black camisole, with heels too expensive for someone who should be messing around with a married man. But then again, maybe I was the one who was naive. Maybe love had made me stupid. I did not plan to confront her. But pain makes you impulsive. I got out of my car before I even realized what I was doing. I walked straight toward them. They were laughing when I reached them. Laughing. Ethan saw me first. His entire face went pale. Melissa turned slowly, confused. Her eyes met mine. I expected panic, guilt, something. But what I got was curiosity. "Camille?" Ethan's voice cracked like glass breaking. "What are you?" "I am your wife." "That is what I am," I said flatly, locking eyes with Melissa. She blinked. Once. Twice. And then, I swear, she smiled. "Oh," she said. "You never told me she was this bold." The air felt like it left my lungs. She knew about me. She knew. It was not the cheating that broke me in that moment. It was the fact that I had been discussed like a character in a private movie they shared. That my name, my life, had been a topic between them, behind my back. Melissa took a step closer. "Camille, right? Look, it is not what you think." I laughed. Loud. Wild. Uncontrolled. "No?" I asked. "Because it looks like you have been having sex with my husband while I cooked his birthday dinner." Ethan grabbed my arm gently. I yanked it away. "You planned this?" I asked him. "Did you laugh about me together? In bed? Did she moan while you told her how stupid your wife is?" He said nothing. His silence was all the answer I needed. Later that night, he came home. Alone. I had locked myself in the guest room with the lights off. He knocked. "Camille, let me explain." "You already did," I said through the door. "With your silence." He sat outside the door for a long time. Maybe 30 minutes. Maybe 3 hours. I do not know. Time stopped meaning anything. The next day, he packed a bag and left. He did not say goodbye. He just left a note on the counter. I never meant to hurt you. I was confused. Melissa made me feel wanted. I did not think you wanted me anymore. I am sorry. That was the final betrayal. He made his cheating my fault. Like I had not been enough. Like my love had not covered every damn hole in his soul. The day he left, the house felt colder. Not because of the missing body, but because of the truth echoing in every room. His scent still lingered in our bedroom. His shaving cream sat on the edge of the sink like a taunt. I wanted to throw it all out. I wanted to burn it. But I did not. I wanted to remember exactly how it felt to be discarded. Because pain, when held the right way, becomes power. And I was ready to use mine. Ethan was careless. That much I already knew. He thought walking out would clean his slate. What he did not realize was he had left behind a USB drive. I found it while cleaning out his desk drawer. At first, I thought it was work-related. But my gut told me otherwise. I plugged it into my laptop, and there it was. Videos. Dozens of them. He had recorded himself with her. With Melissa. Some were in hotels. Some in our house. Our house. Our bed. My hand trembled on the mouse as I opened one. I told myself not to watch. I watched anyway. It was brutal. The sound of her voice. His hands on her body. Their whispers. Their laughter. She even wore my robe in one of the videos. I shut the laptop and stood up, dizzy. But beneath the nausea, something else stirred, clarity. He left me behind, thinking he had broken me. But what he actually did was hand me the very thing I needed to end him. I met her again. Melissa thought I was done. I knew that. She thought I was another abandoned wife nursing a broken heart while she tasted victory. So I requested a meeting. I sent a message to her office under a fake name. Told her I was planning a high-profile charity event and wanted her as the guest host. She worked in PR. She could not resist a spotlight. She showed up to the downtown venue in a silver dress, makeup flawless, unaware I was the one waiting. When she saw me, her smile froze. She did not sit. Just stared. I thought you should know what he left behind, I said, sliding the USB across the table. She hesitated. What is this? Proof. Of everything. He filmed it. Every moment. Every room. Including our bedroom. Her face flushed. But I was not done. You should also know, I sent copies to 3 attorneys. Just in case you were hoping for privacy. Melissa stiffened. She opened her clutch to tuck the USB inside. You do not scare me, she said quietly. I do not need to, I replied. Because he will. Ethan called me 3 days later. Voice frantic. What did you do, Camille? You mean after you cheated on me in our bed and made me feel like a stranger in my own life? She showed me the videos. Why the hell would you? You recorded them, Ethan. I just made sure someone else hit play. He was silent. I do not want you back, I said. I want you to know that you did not win. That she does not win. And that the only person who walks away from this with peace, is me. You are cruel. No. I am just no longer weak. That week, I sold the house. I drained the joint account. Everything I had contributed to, I took back. The lawyer made sure of it. He never saw a dime more than he deserved. I cut off his access, blocked him from everything, and changed my number. I started therapy. It was brutal at first, admitting I had lost myself in someone else's story. But week by week, I found pieces of myself buried under his lies. I traveled. I saw places I had put on hold for the marriage. I slept in beds he never touched. I kissed strangers who made no promises. I stood in mirrors without needing his eyes to validate me. 6 months later, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. No signature. He did the same thing to me. I thought I was the only one. You were not the other woman, Camille. I was. Melissa. I read it twice. Then I smiled. Because it was never about her. Or me. It was always about him. A man who saw love as something to consume, not cherish. But I am no longer the woman who was broken. I am the woman who walked through betrayal, and never looked back.